Hi, parents. My name is Kylie Myers, or Miss Myers to your students. I'm just going to take you through our open house presentation real quick and show you some things on Canvas that would be helpful in case you can't come to the open house this year, okay? There we go. I was like, why isn't it working? So real quick, we're going to talk about a couple of philosophies that I have. Here's some quotes that go with it. With math, the answer is important, but I also feel like the foundation or the process to get to the answer is more important than the answer being correct, if that makes sense. So like when you're building a house, if you don't have a good solid foundation and show all of, like, say a brick house, right? And you don't show all that nice brickwork, then the whole point of building the house will crumble because you don't have that solid foundation. That was a terrible analogy, but that's okay. So that's kind of what I tell my students and what I want and why I want to see their work and have them show their work. That's why it's so important. So that way, if they get the wrong answer, they're not like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm giving up. Whereas if they show their work, we can say, okay, here, you just forgot the minus sign or whatever. We can pinpoint and figure out how to make sure they don't make that mistake in the future. And the other thing we know from the past, year and a half, that flexibility and being able to overcome things and persevere is really important. But what's especially important is to be an advocate, right? This year in 7th grade, it's really different than 6th grade, right? So we are going to push a lot for self-advocacy. If your student doesn't understand something, they need to talk to me, not just you as a parent, but your child, your student needs to come and ask for help. Okay. We kind of need to meet in the middle. It's a partnership, not just between me and you, but between me and your student. Okay. So that's really important. So those are my 2 quotes. Look at them or not, but I pretty much just summed them up. Okay. We are going to do a flipped instruction. You've probably heard of this before. It's really big in our math community here at LD. So pretty much kind of what our day will look like is we're going to do a warm up together. We're going to review our daily agenda, aka our warm up. Most of the time they'll have homework about 3 times a week. And what that homework is going to be is them to watch less than 10-minute note video. Okay, so one of them's 10 minutes and 10 seconds, but I'll try to keep them shorter. Okay, so under 10 minutes is going to be their homework, and they'll just watch the notes in Canvas, and then we'll go from there. The next day I'll say, hey, does anybody have any questions about the notes you watched? Any examples that you need me to go over again? This is the self-advocacy part. They would raise their hand and say, hey, yeah, I did an understand example 4B or whatever. And then during class, we're going to do activities. A lot of them is going to be them working on a worksheet with a partner, or last year we couldn't really do a lot of interactive things. So I'm hoping that this year we'll be able to do more group things, little puzzles together, whiteboard activities, moving around the room, that kind of stuff. So I've planned that in, so I'm hoping that I can keep that, because that's really the goal of Flipped, is that they work together more and they're able to collaborate more and help each other. And then that leaves me really able to go around and help those students that are struggling and lagging behind, or if your child just needs a little bit more reassurance on a topic, that's again what this allows me to specialize that one-on-one time. We do take little knowledge checks. They're like 5 questions. I try to make them every week, but sometimes, if we have like a 3-day week, we're not going to take a little knowledge check that week, right? Or if we really have to push through some yeah, so it depends. I say some Fridays. Again, just little weekly quizzes just so I can check where we are and make sure we're all on the same page before we get to the big test. And then I'm like, ooh, everybody failed. What's going on, right? This allows me to kind of check along the way. Canvas, we're going to use Canvas for literally everything. So, and we'll talk about that when we get to Canvas. Some big rules this year. They just had a board meeting about this. K-8 masks are mandatory again, and they're mandatory on the bus. So, we'll be wearing masks again in school. So if you have any questions about that, ask someone that's not me, because I don't make the rules about that, okay? No cell phones for any reason. We did just update this policy this year. It is new. I have the word done there because we're done with the phones, right? So I mean, there's some extenuating circumstances, of course, but for the most part, we're going to say no phones. Not for the most part. AK, we're saying no phones. And if you need to reach your child during the day, call the office and they'll get to your kid. So that's kind of where we stand on that policy. Grading topics. Some really important ones are, I do have their grades available in Canvas. That is not always most accurate because it's not always weighted the same. And so check your PowerSchools for official grades. I try to keep them the exact same number, but sometimes like one updates before the other. So PowerSchools is the most up to date, okay? Missing assignments. So we do, a lot of assignments. And I've noticed last year, a lot of students struggled to keep up and complete that. So I'm letting you know now that if we have 3 missing assignments at all per month, they're going to get a lunch detention. And then from there, we'll do an 11th period or after school. I'm not really sure what we're doing this year. So yeah, it depends on which one we're doing. Absences, we go on vacation, your child's sick or whatever, that's okay. We're flexible, right? But they do need to make up that work. It's not like, oh, I was gone for a week, it doesn't matter. No, they're still accountable for that work. Okay, so make sure they're making that work up. Normally they ask before and I give them, here's the work that you need to do, or here's what we're doing, just make sure you keep up with it. I say I want it the day back, but if it takes a day or two, just get it done. Really. Flexibility, at the beginning of the year, we all need to be flexible. There's going to be lots of issues. I'm sure internet will go down at some point. Someone's laptop's not going to work. We just got to go with the flow and be flexible with each other and understand that we're all learning together, and that there's going to be mistakes and we're going to have to just, there's going to be issues. So we just got to go with the flow and understand that I'm flexible. If your child's having an issue, just let me know or have them let me know. Again, advocacy, and we can figure it out. And I'm willing to show them. I was showing kids how to use Canvas this past year until like May. Okay, so, I'm willing to work with them. Just tell them to let me know. Communication, feel free to communicate via Canvas or email, whichever. If you're in Canvas, it's a lot easier because I'm on that literally all day. Email, I do check it every day, but I'm not like glued to it while I'm teaching because I'm teaching, So Canvas is a little bit faster for me to communicate, but email's good too. As I've said before, I want us to be a partnership, right? We have to work together to make sure your child succeeds. Not just me and you, not just me and your child, but all of us together to make sure we are copacetic and everything's going well. So, we're going to give it like a 2-week grace period at the beginning of the year just to kind of get settled. And from there, if I'm noticing your child's not doing something or they're struggling, then I'll reach out. If you have questions before that, though, obviously reach out to me. I lost my train of thought. I had a really good thought there. Oh, if like the year goes on and I notice something changes, like little Johnny, he was really good and turned in every assignment, and now all of a sudden he hasn't done anything a week. And then we say, oh, Johnny, what's going on? And then I'll reach out to you and say, hey, Johnny's, this is what I'm seeing, or what have you. But again, reach out to me if you have questions, and I'll hopefully be reaching out to you, even with good news, like, oh, Johnny's doing great. Tell him to keep up the good work, that kind of stuff. If you really need to get a hold of me, if you're, have a burning question that you feel like I'm not answering, I try to get back to you within 24 hours. I will only, but I will mostly email you between 7 and 3. I'll be honest, I get to school at like 6 every day, so I might email you a little earlier than 7, but I get there so early so that way I can unplug at the end of the day. So you probably won't hear back from me after like 3 or 3:30, but it may be before. Do get up really early. Canvas is open for them to explore a little bit. Here's the big thing: make sure your info snap is filled out, okay? Because we need accurate emails, right? If we're gonna partner and communicate, I need a good email from you. So make sure your info snap has a good email that we can contact you with. So now that I've talked all about that kind of stuff, let's go to Ooh, that is not what I wanted. Okay, it's the same screen. Sorry. I was like, wait, see, technology issues. Okay, so first things first, here's what our Canvas looks like. The 7th and 8th grade Canvas are set up the same way, so I'm just going to show you the 7th grade one because I have a couple extra things in there so far. So I'm a little bit further. So all of your kids' students' Canvases should have the same homepage. It'll have the times, it'll have the assignments there, it'll have course organization, supplies, email. It might have a little about me section. I took that out because they'll learn all about me because I'm a talker. Okay. I have, the normal day schedule. Here's the thing, we have assignments listed here and I have days of the week, right? So each day I'm going to have what we're doing that day. We'll have a link to the assignment and specifically linked out what is homework. Okay, and I'll do that for every single day of the week. And we'll have click here to access previous week's assignments. So that way, if your child misses assignment, there's a way for them to go check that. On Canvas, course organization, here's the deal. On the side here, you have a syllabus tab. You have a modules tab and a grades tab. So, and you have the announcements for each day up here. I do an announcement each day. So that way, here's another thing. Here's what we're doing today. Here's blah, 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 blah. So it's AKA the same thing I put here under Monday, but it's just like up here too for them to look at. So lots of ways to get the information. Let's look at the syllabus. I kind of highlighted a lot of this stuff. So if you want to read this in more detail, here it is online. Here's just the classroom rules, work to the best of your ability, make sure you ask questions, have a positive attitude. We talked about the flipped classroom, class materials. I'm sorry, I don't like paper. I don't like collecting paper. I don't want the possibility of losing your child's paper or having that miscommunication of, oh, I submitted it and Miss Myers didn't get it, or, what have you. That's why technology, as much as it's a pain in the tuchus, it does work out in that way. I can say, hey, you never submitted it. I have proof on Canvas. It's not like there's no human error there, right? Headphones, again, we're going to be watching videos to take notes, so they're going to need a set of headphones. Why was I talking about? Oh, stylus pens. I give each student a stylus pen on the first day. But I have a link on my homepage in Canvas to like a nicer pen if they're a little worried about that. The calculator that we're really looking for students to have is the TI-30XS Multiview. If they have a different calculator, it's not a big deal. I also have classroom sets, so if they prefer to use mine or whatever, it doesn't super matter, but that's the preferred way because it's nicer to view fractions, and we do a lot with fractions this year. If they have colored pencils and that kind of stuff, that's great. We're going to use that a little bit. We're not going to super use it. And I have class sets. It has all the, the units on here. Some more in-depth grading policies and stuff. Grades are weighted, and you'll find that, in next year's math class as well. We do try to keep 7th and 8th grade the same, or my 8th grade friends, everybody's grades are weighted. Okay, they're all weighted the same. We have our classwork, aka those activities or group assignments that we do. And then we have homework, aka the notes that you do. And then we have our knowledge checks, and then we have tests. And we will be using MobyMax this year as a way to make sure that we're keeping up with standards and to make sure we're on target with those, okay? So that's the syllabus. What I like about this page is that it has the course summary and it has all of the things that we're doing in the class and when they're due. And once you turn it in, it'll show up as turned in. So then let's go to modules. Modules is the big way that you're going to use Canvas, okay? So modules in each unit is going to have everything that they need. I'll turn off student view so you can kind of see what it'll look like eventually. So it'll have, notes and then the worksheet. Notes, worksheet, notes, worksheet. When we get to a knowledge check, that'll be in there. When we get to a test, we'll be taking that. So they'll have it a little bit organized in here. But so far, they only have one thing. And I'll show you kind of what that assignment looks like and how they're going to be submitting it. So it'll have the notes, directions, aka watch this video. So here's the video that I've already recorded and uploaded. They'll click on it. And down here, So they'll click on it, and then down here, they'll use the little pen tool and they'll write with their pen. I mean, that's not a great write, but you know, they can change it and do whatever. And they can zoom in down here too, which is nice. Zoom is right here. So they can zoom in and write a finer detail, or if they type here, you know, whatever. So there's lots of things that they could do. And we'll talk about this and explore all those options with your students the first week of school. But that's kind of what it'll look like and what they're doing. When they feel like they're done, they just scroll down and hit submit assignment. And it'll be confetti, yay. And ninjas, that was weird. So then they'll be able to see their work. So like they could see, oh, I did this and I did that. Or they can say, oh, I didn't finish this. That's why I didn't get full credits. And most of the time, if I don't give them a full credit, I'll leave a comment in the submission box to let them know why and probably to redo it, or here's what happened. The other thing under modules are the homework Google Docs. So I told you I have a couple of different places for you to check the homework. But here's another way for you to check all of your students' homework in one spot. So on Canvas, in a module under my class, I have homework Google Docs. So let's click on Monday. If we're being honest, no teacher has updated this yet. So it's a little delayed, a little late. So let's see, it'll load. So this is from Monday, May 24th. We have it based off of subject and then teams. So we have it color coded by teams, but it's based by subject. So like a lot of your students will have Mr. Furman, and you know, at the end of the school year, most of ours was just do anything you're missing, right? So his was complete all prior assignments. Miss Nave, who your child might have, flower dissection was do this. Or, you know, if they have other teachers, they're all right there for you. Math, what was I doing? We had a project, so just make sure you were working on your project. Miss Gilroy, most of the time has no homework, so it'll mostly be none. But at each day has a different schedule or different page, and we'll update that each day. So, you know, I do definitely update that, and I know most of our teachers do. So that's just a good place if your student has, you know, teachers on different teams. There you go. So that's on my Canvas page. I'll also show you one other way to get there. You go to select a school from the LD page, go to middle school, go to faculty, look for me, Myers, M-E-Y, there I am. And I have them linked to homework pages, and then they're all right there as well, okay? So they're all the same, it takes us to the same homework page. So that's just another way to do it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I'm trying to turn off my sharing. Why am I being dumb? Stop share, there we go. So if you have any questions, let me know. Again, I want us to work together, so please feel free to reach out. Yeah, all right. Well, hopefully I'll be in contact with you. Have a great rest of your evening.